think I always do this thing upside down like this. Mm, okay, do I need to do it this way? Just waiting to see if anybody jumps on. Hi, Melanin Mama. Long time no see. I remember the name and the profile pic. How you doing? I'm saying long time no see, but it's me who's not putting videos out. So, okay, so it has to be turned this way. Okay. All right. I had it turned horizontal. I don't know if it was that platform or landscape, but it was horizontal. Hey, but long time no see. This is another impromptu live. I think I'm gonna start doing lives and not videos, because I don't have to put as much work into doing lives. I just come on here as is. Oh, congratulations! Ooh, girl, congratulations! That took me back. Oh, yeah, I remember you making some comments about going back to school. Where'd you go to school? I mean, what? Not where'd you go to school, but I guess that is where'd you go to school. If I ask, what school did you go to? What school did you attend, and how long was your bridge program? Congratulations! Yeah, it is that time of year. Time for graduates. Oh, 12, 13. Okay. Why am I looking at it thinking 11, 13? Okay, but you right there. You at the finish line. Did you do your finals already? Okay, I heard about Excel. Well, Excelsior been around for a long time. I remember some nurses. Oh goodness, probably like some nurses I worked with probably about 15 years ago, going through Excelsior. Is that one of those types of schools where you have to go somewhere for like a week for your clinical and do like 3 or 4 days of clinical after you've completed all the classwork? But congratulations. I've heard, like I said, I've heard about that school before years ago, but I hadn't heard um, anybody in the last like 5 years that's gone to them. I think ECPI has been a big school that I've heard about more so in the last maybe like 5 years that a lot of people are going to. And I guess their ECPIs all over the place. We have finals this week. I just took the comp predictor, didn't do well on it, but my average. What is a comp predictor? Does that predict how well you'll do on the NCLEX? Yeah, my son, he's doing his finals for this semester. My daughter's doing hers too. Um, he'll be graduating May finally. It's been a long road. Seems like he's been in school forever, but I told him just pace himself. And he'll finally be graduating with his bachelor's in May. And my daughter, she's just getting started. So none of my kids wanted to do anything really health through ATI. Okay. Okay. I see somebody that might be getting blocked. I don't know who. I don't know how to turn on do like moderators and stuff. I don't have that much engagement to be turning on moderators, but yeah, I think I see somebody gonna be getting blocked. Um, you just use. Well, I'm not gonna say just use. I'll tell you what I use. I use the UWorld. Let me block this person because okay, yeah, I blocked them. I don't. It wouldn't let me block it. Let me put them in timeout. Yeah, we had to do ATI, and we had to actually score a certain percentage on the ATI to pass the class, even though we were done with almost all the work. Yeah, I used UWorld for my RN and I passed on the first try too. I think I had 92 questions and I passed and I knew I passed when I finished too. I tell people that, and I don't know if they believe me, but I did. I know I passed. Finished is when I finished it because I was pretty sure, like I was 98% sure the last like five questions I got right, and I know they don't just use your last few questions to determine pass or fail, but your pass or fail is kind of based off your last few sets of questions. That's how it is now, and used to be. I don't know how it is now. They got that new type of NCLEX now, and I know I hadn't talked to anybody that's taken it. Yeah, case study questions. I had a lot of those case study questions in the BSN program. Um, yeah, I struggle with them too. I struggle with them too. I still struggle with them. Well, I don't have to do them now, but I struggle with them in the BSN program. You basically had to diagnose, treat, and follow up with the patients in the BSN program. But yeah, I used U World too, and I passed the first time. And I was scoring like between like 60 something and 70 something percent on U World, and they say if you score like that high, that you're pretty sure you'll pass. I would say wait until you take the NCLEX to apply for jobs, but I will say start looking around and see what you may go on Indeed and look at all the. Let me tell you, you're gonna be so overwhelmed when you see all the places hiring for RN. Go on, go on Indeed and start looking around and see what might pique your interest. Because when I graduated, with my RN and I went on Indeed, y'all. I was applying for stuff knowing I probably wasn't going to take the job, but just because it was available, I was the world is your oyster when you get your RN. It's your oyster when you get your LPN too. Because there are a lot of jobs hiring for your LPN and you won't be without a job with either licensure. But baby, that RN, I was like, I could work in, I could do an office. I just, it was just so much. So things I knew I wasn't going to take the job, I still applied. Now, now pay is a different story. If you're going for pay is a different story. But you probably already know that your pay may not be good. Your pay probably won't be what you think it should be being a new grad. So if you're going to go for pay, you may not be happy with the job you choose if you're choosing it just for the pay. Um, but like, what do you want to do? Yeah, just what type of work do you want to do? Being that you've been an LPN, you probably already know like the different specialties. So what is it that you wanted to do with your RN? I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got my RNs, and I bounced around. Let me block this person here. I don't work in a hospital now, but I have worked in the hospital. And it took me working in the hospital for me to know that it's not for me. But me working in a hospital, so when I graduated with my LPN decades ago, my first job was in the hospital. And I loved it. I just didn't like having to rely on the RNs to do certain things for me. And at that particular hospital, I think it was a level three because it couldn't have been a level. It's no way it was a level one. But we still did like blood transfusions. We still gave iron push drugs and stuff like that. And you had to ask the RN to do it for you. Like they would assign those patients to an LPN, knowing we couldn't do those, like initiate those things, but we would have to ask the RNs to do. And when I first started working in the hospital as LPN, it was back when we had paper Mars. And so I got tired of having to ask them to do things for me, and that's why I went to the nursing home where I felt like I had a little bit more autonomy as an LPN. But I did enjoy the hospital then in my 20s, and it was because I enjoyed it and it wasn't hard. When I graduated with my RN in my 40s and went to the hospital, I was miserable. And so Um, yeah, that was a difference. But the hospital I worked with, my RN, was a level one trauma facility, and I just think it was just like the patients were much sicker. 20 years later, the patients were much sicker. It was a lot. It was a lot. The acuity of the patients in the level one facility are is much higher than say a level three. Like when I did my assignment, when I did that travel assignment at that hospital with my RN, that hospital was easy. And I have a friend now at that same hospital, and she loved it. She loved it there. So I think it's probably I can't. So the acuity of the hospital matters, and um I could probably do like a level three or level two and have no problem, but I don't like being boxed in and being in the hospital, so that's why I won't do it again. But yeah, doing pick lines and all that, it's fun. It really is fun. It was fun to me setting up IV, starting IVs, initiating blood transfusions, doing pick line, like drawing blood through pick lines and all that. It was fun to me. I like learning how to do that stuff, but um, just doing it for six patients was a lot. Like if there's a pick, like if the patient has a central line, the nurse draws blood from the central line in the hospital while I work. Phlebotomists didn't come up to draw their blood. We had to draw their blood. And it was fun and interesting to me. I actually liked drawing blood through the pick lines and the central lines and stuff. I liked it. And I liked starting IVs. I liked There's certain things I like doing, but then it was certain things when your patients, when they have a patient with a high acuity on a floor that they're not supposed to be on, I didn't like that because I had to spend so much time in the room with that one patient. I was neglecting my other patients. And, it is what can I do? I had to stay here with this patient, even though I called a rapid response, I had to stay in the room with that patient. That happened so many times. And then once COVID hit, it was a wrap for me. Uh, Yeah, and that's another thing. So you don't do 12 hours now? Yeah, that's another thing with your kids, 12 hours is a long time. It's not as long for your kids if you work night shift because they really won't miss you during those hours that they're sleeping. You really, they'll be sleeping, but the hours that they're awake and you're sleeping because you work night shift is yeah, it's a lot. But certain 12-hour shifts at certain facilities go by real fast. But if your kids are young, I understand because I think I've said on this channel several times when I got my LPN and my kids was younger, I was a straight PRN, 4 hour, 6 hour nurse. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and he was saying how I would go to last night. Matter of fact, he was saying how I would just work 4 hours here, 4 hours there, and and I was laughing about it because I was like, I never really did like the work, and yeah. I would do 4 hours so I know I could be home to go to my kids' field day, or I'll pick up a 8 hour shift here instead of a 12, or I'll do. I recently, in the last like 4 years, started doing 6 hours out of a 12-hour shift and finding another nurse to do the other six. But I work in a state agency now with disabled. Well, they're not children; they're adults. But yeah, and I love it there. I've said it on here, and I say it again, and I say it a million times. I'm going to stay there. They'll probably have to fire me to get me out of there because I love it. It's I love it. I was talking to They asked me the other day would I be interested in. They've been training me to supervise, which I don't want to do. Um, and then they asked me the other day would I be interested in being one of the HCCs, which is the healthcare. I don't know what that stands for. HCC, healthcare care. I don't know, child. It's the manager over one of the buildings, but I told them no. Yep, I told them no, honey. I just want to come in, work with my patients, love on my patients, talk, laugh with them, sing to them, give them their medication, and go home and go on about my business and not have to worry about any other responsibilities of anything in management. I don't even want to supervise. I don't want to do that, but it was a requirement. They told me that I'll be trained to supervise when I got the job, and I was hoping that it would never come, that it wouldn't come to that, but yeah, they've been pulling me in to trained to supervise, y'all. I'm trying to get out of it. I'm trying. I don't want to leave the job. I really don't, but I don't want to supervise. And then it's I'm working night shift, so supervising that night shift, I'm running in and out of that code because if we get a call, we got to run to whatever building the call was made on, and I don't want to do that. But hospice, I worked hospice through agency, and I like I was bored. I'm gonna be honest. I was bored. It was a lot of downtime, which is going to be, well, I work night shift in hospice through the agency, and I shouldn't complain about it being bored. I'm that type of person. I don't want to be real busy, but I don't want to be bored, just bored. And that was before the time I discovered I was listening to books, but yeah, if had I been listening to the books back then when I was working at hospice, I probably would have stayed there and not been as bored. But I was so bored working hospice, you knew I was bored. And you have a lot of it's sad working in hospice. It is sad working in hospice, but you do a lot of push medication there for pain too. You'll be working with pick lines. Congratulations, Deb Joe. 12 days. I'm in I'm working yeah, 12 and start studying for boards. Congratulations. I was telling Melanin Mama, I use UWorld to study for my RN boards, and she said she used UWorld for her PN board. So, yeah, it helped me because I passed on the first try. And I'm not in the hospital or the nursing home, but where I do work, it's more so like a nursing home. They don't want to call it a nursing home, but I do the same work that I did in the nursing home, but I have much less patients. Like I have at the most I have 10 patients, and they don't get that much medication, and it's more of like residential care. That's what they're calling it. Yeah, I hated the hospital, but some people love it. I got a friend who loved the hospital. When she was an LPN, she did primarily long-term care, and she loved the hospital. She can't stand going in the nursing home now. She loved the hospital, but she be stressed in that hospital. So I don't know, but she loved it. She's doing an assignment now at the hospital that I had my assignment, and she's still working agency. She's been agency for the last probably about 4 years, and she's on an assignment now at the hospital I had an assignment with three was it 2 or 3 years ago, and she loved that hospital. But some people love it, so I try not to talk bad about the hospital because it's too many people that work there that love it. I mean, I guess it's a individual by individual based thing. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people can't stand. I think more people hate the nursing home than hate the hospital. And I can do her nursing home 24/7 with no problem. And you say you're boring. You ain't gonna be bored on med surge because they be throwing critical care patients on med surge. It's ridiculous. They have since the pandemic, they've kind of stepped up the level of care on different units. So like they'll put a patient who has cardiac drip on a med surge floor now. They should be on a cardiac floor, but they'll put that type of person on a med surge now. They'll put someone with some type of insulin drip on a med surge floor now. They should not be on a med surge floor. So they've kind of increased the acuity level that they allow on different floors. And med surge ain't boring. I worked a med surge tele floor, and it was nothing boring about it. I bet I never got a moment's peace on that floor. And a lot of nurses refuse to work med surge, but I think they don't want to work it because they know how hard it is. Like an ICU nurse will tell you, even though ICU is a higher acuity, they're used to working with like two patients. I think since the pandemic, they've been giving some of them three, but they're used to working with two patients who usually vented, who intubated. They're not talking back to them. They're not asking for this and asking for that. You know, they get on med surg and they have five patients and they be about to drown. You know, but then a med surg nurse can't go to the ICU because we don't have the training for the drugs and the medication and the care that they deliver on ICU floors. But if you take an ICU nurse or even an ER nurse and put them in med surg, they'll tell you some of them would rather quit than work med surg. Med surg is not boring at all. And yet they make the least amount. Yeah, it's not boring. It's a lot of camaraderie on med surg. I feel like now see, I'm different. I talk to everybody. I get along with just about everybody. I peep people personalities and I know how to handle them accordingly. So I know what to say and not say, how much I can talk to this person and not. Um, so I'm good with camaraderie with other nurses. I don't have an issue. When I work med surg, the nurses will come to you and be like, "Do you need help with anything? Can I help you with this?" But a lot of people say they don't get that they don't get that on their floors. But I didn't have a problem with my coworkers. It was the acuity of the patients that was my issue. And I did night shift, and when I left and went back, I went back day shift thinking, okay, well maybe it's because I was sleepy and that's why I was so miserable. I need to work day shift so I can get a good night's sleep. So I went and worked day shift when I went back to the hospital, and child, they was doing more work on day shift than night shift. I was like, oh, it's just not for me. That's all it is. Because when the doctors are there full force on day shift, when I tell you they just steadily changing up medication, you can hang a bag of fluids and go back and look, and 20 minutes later, the doctor then changed the order for the bag of fluids. So now you got to take those fluids down, go hang a new bag of fluid, like new orders just coming through all day long. And yeah, day shift was worse than night shift. So when I realized that night shift was a no go and then day shift was hard, I was like, it's a wrap. I got to go from here. But try it out. You know, try it and see how you like it. I know there are some nurses, like if you get on an observation unit or orthopedic, a rehab or orthopedic unit, it's not hard at all. Yeah, like an observation unit where they observe to see if you need to be admitted to the hospital, or orthopedic unit where you might have had a fracture or something like that and you're rehabbing. That's not hard at all. Yeah. And a lot of times when you get hired for a tele unit, you can always transfer 6 months to a year to another floor if you want to. Yeah. I'm a nursing home type person too, but don't think you're limited to the nursing home because you're LPN. I got a video on here where I was saying about different places LPNs can work. You are not limited to the nursing home because let me tell you, had I known, I don't know what the state was paying before the pandemic because we always told that the state doesn't pay. I don't know what the state was paying before the pandemic, but had I gotten a job where I am now, okay, the area I live in now, I moved here 10 years ago. I was an LPN. Had I gotten a job, had I even had the thought to get a job working here 10 years ago, I would have been 10 years in this facility because that's how much I like it. The benefits are good. The workload, the stress level is like low, low, low. Like I'm never stressed on my job at all. And that might be because I got nursing home experience. I'm never stressed on my job. The things that they be complaining about, like the nurses who haven't worked anywhere else, the things that they complain about, I'd be like, if y'all only knew, this ain't. This is like it's like assisted living to me. That is like assisted living. And even in assisted living, you have 25 sometimes patients. I have 10 at most. Hey Shonda, take it. Well, all right, what are you locked into in the residency? I'm gonna say that. What are they locking you into? How many years? Yeah, you do work short a lot in nursing homes. You do. And I feel like if you're gonna work me short, then you need to be giving me a part of that other nurse's salary that I'm picking up the slack for them for the other nurse not being here. But of course they're not gonna do that. But you do work short a lot, especially when it comes to having CNAs to be so short. Yeah. Yeah, assisted living facilities are, yeah. Yeah, they will. Hospital, the nursing home will burn you out now. It will. I thought one time I was like, I get on here all the time, like trying to big up these nursing homes, but it is a lot of work. I guess because I've been doing it for so many years. That's why it's just not that bad to me. Like, but it is a lot of work. It is. I had one shift probably about 3 months ago that I had like four wanderers on my unit. um, and I told them I'm not if y'all ever put me on that unit in the daytime again, I'm walking out. It was that bad. That was the first time I even threatened that in my whole career in nursing to threaten that I would walk out. I told them if y'all put me on this unit again, I'm walking out because I had to run behind the patients so much, and I knew the CNAs couldn't do all that running behind them because they had their work to do. I ran behind one, even got out the door trying. I said never again. I said y'all got too many wanderers on this one unit. Nobody's one to one. And y'all got us signing every 15 minutes that we got our eyes on them. It's no way. I told them if they ever put me on that floor again, I'm walking out the door. So the nursing home will burn you out, but the hospital will burn you out too. If you think about most nurses who complain about burnout, I mean, I guess you have to talk to nurses who work other places, but most nurses that complain about burnout, they work in the hospital. Assisted living is gravy. You don't have to lock into anything with your residency? Ooh, 65. You must be over the whole bill. 65. You can't be passing meds to all 65 of them patients. Ain't no way. Oh my God, that's too much. I've done 32 in assisted living, and they don't even get half the meds that they get in nursing homes. 65, ain't no way. So you don't have to lock into anything with your residency, Shonda. You don't have to agree to stay a year, nothing. Oh, okay. Okay, you got med aid. See, we don't have do we have med techs in South Carolina? We got med techs and they work in, yeah, we do have med techs that work in assisted living, yeah. So you basically precious for life. You're basically like the supervisor over the shift when you work. If you have med techs, you're like their supervisor. Yeah, Florida, Shonda. I don't know. My nephew just moved to Jacksonville, and he's making real good. I ain't gonna say he make good money as an LPN in Jacksonville. Oh, Melanie, you know what? Somebody showed me that pill count app, and I forgot the name. I forgot what the name was, but he used it to count some pills, and I didn't trust it, and so I counted behind the app, and it was right. But I was like, what? I forgot what the name of the app was. I hate when people come in there with a bottle of pills and you got to count all them pills. Pill Eye, yeah, that's what it was. Oh, I hate when they come in with the bottles of pills because you got to count everyone. Oh, the money is good for the residency? That's different. Yeah, that's different. But I tell people when you first coming out going to the hospital, the money ain't gonna be that good. But give it a year, you can leave there and go to another hospital and probably get $5 more an hour just for having that 1 year of experience. Yeah, that app is something. They need to. I remember them days, people coming in with a bottle with 55 pills in the bottle, and I gotta count every shift. You gotta count them by hand. Ooh, I don't know what to say, Precious. I mean, if you're doing it, then sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we don't know what we get. Sometimes we don't know the level. Like, okay, so I'm gonna put like I don't know I know what I'm trying to say, but let me say this. So I used to work in this facility as an agency nurse, and I used to work their trach floor. They have a floor where okay, it was like 15 patients, and like nine of them had trachs, which don't seem like a lot, but you know, when you have trach patients, you have to do their neb treatments, you have to do their trach care. And we had about three to four of them who are like they constantly stayed with a bunch of mucus, and you constantly had to suction and all that. So I would work it because I was used to. So I would work it, not think I was working hard, but I would work it, not thinking that I'm working hard. I had just gotten so conditioned to doing the work. I just came in and did it. And other people would complain and be like, "Oh, I don't want to work the trach floor. I want," but I would just do it. And I was, I had gotten so accustomed to doing it. I would work it. And then the other patients I had, they, like out of the 15, I'd say like nine were trachs. The others weren't trachs, and they weren't as high level of acuity. And with a lot of trachs come tube feeding. So I would work it and have them tube feeders do all that, no problem. I'm like, I'm agency. I'm coming through making $50 an hour. Hey, I'm gonna do it until they actually got a respiratory therapist in there. And when that respiratory therapist came in there and started doing all that trach care and doing all that suctioning and doing all those neb treatments, I realized how, and I only had to do like administer their medication and do vital signs. I'm the nurse that do my own vital signs, so I would do my vital signs. I'll administer the medication. If they're diabetics, I'll do their blood sugar, stuff like that. When I got to only doing that work, I realized how hard I was actually working doing all that trach care with the patients, and I refused to work that floor again without RT. Sometimes we don't realize how hard we are working because we're so used to doing it that we don't realize how hard we're actually working until we're not working that hard anymore, and we realize what we were doing that wasn't normal. So that wasn't normal for me to have to work with those nine trach patients doing all their care like that, doing all that care. That wasn't normal. What was normal was for them to have a RT that would come in and do that care because that's what you're supposed to have. You're supposed to have RT around the clock. So worked 6 a to 2 p yesterday, and then picked up 11 to 7. Oh yeah, that's some good money. Yeah, that's some good money. I've done that before too, Melon and Mama. That's how I would do my doubles. I would come in and do 7 to 3, and then turn around and do an 11 to 7, and then be off the next morning, or either the next 7 A to 7 P, and then come back the next day 7 P to 7 A. Yeah, a lot of nurses don't like the trachs and the vents. A lot of nurses walked out when they saw they was assigned to that floor. They would come in and they would leave. They would come in and see they were on that floor, and they would leave. No good morning, no nothing. They just left. Nobody really liked it. And I didn't mind. And I guess I didn't mind working there because I had worked in the hospital. So I was so used to having trachs. Now, I didn't work a floor in the hospital where we had vents, but I worked the floor in the hospital where there were trachs. So I was so used to working with trach patients. I did work at a nursing home that had vents, but they had RT around the clock. But I don't mind the phlegm in the car. I don't know. I I don't like it. I don't want it to get on me, but it didn't like gross me out to see the phlegm in the car. What I didn't like is when it had pseudomonas, and then it had that bad smell, and that was a foul smell. When they get infected, that was a horrible smell. But yeah, I don't mind working with trachs. I'm so used to it. Yeah, you have to you give meds, you suction, you change out the collar weekly, you change out the inner cannula. Some places change it out Q shift, some change it out Q day. Suctioning is a big part of the trach care, which is only bad if you have patients who just get like where I can't say too much. When you have a patient who is constantly gunky and constant, like no matter how much you suction, they're just constantly producing secretions, and that's when it's bad, because it's like you could go in there and clean somebody up, get do their trach care, suction them, change their collar, change the under on the drainage sponge, do all that, get them nice and clean. As soon as you turn your back, it's just all I hate it, but what can you do? You can't be in there with that patient all day long. Yeah, I never worked in a hospital and want the experience, but I like my current job now. Go for the experience, Shonda, because you'll regret not doing it. Let me tell you, I've worked like 5 jobs in one year because I'm gonna go until I find what works for me. Go for it. Go. You'll regret not doing it. If it's something you want to do, you're gonna regret not doing it. Yep. Yep. Shonda got that RN. I be excited when people go to school and graduate, because I know the struggle. Lord, I know the struggle. Mm, 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 mm. I still live. I still have. I don't have flashbacks, but every time I think about it, all I can do is shake my head. Lord, that was a time in my life. I'm glad it's over. A friend of mine, we went out last night and had some drinks, and a friend of mine, he was telling me I should be like a mentor. And I told him, well, I give advice, but like being a mentor, I don't know. And he was like, yeah, you should do it because, he knew me when I was younger. He knew me when my kids were like, my daughter that's 21 now was a baby when I met him. And he was telling me last night how I was an inspiration to him. And because of me, he went back to school and got his bachelor's degree. And I'm sitting there looking like, well, what kind of inspiration? Me and you used to be in the club together. We went to a Nicki Minaj concert together. We was partying. You saw me taking them shots. What kind of inspiration was I back then? Now we talking 21 years ago. That's when I met him. And I was like, an inspiration to you. You never know when you inspire somebody. I was sitting there like, how was I an inspiration to you? But I guess because I stayed in school, when he at one point I had went back for my RN, I dropped out, but I went back and I got my bachelor, got my RN and got my bachelor's degree. And he was just like, I was the inspiration. I'd be like, dang, you never know when you're inspiring somebody. You have to complete those additional. Oh, you went to Capella? Oh, Capella. I applied for them, Shonda. I applied for Capella for my BSN. And what did they tell me? They wanted me to take an extra course because when they calculated my GPA for all the schools that I had went to, even the ones that I went to and dropped out, but I didn't drop out the right way. I dropped out, didn't complete the course. They told me that I had to take a addition some other course, either write a letter explaining what happened or take some other course in order to get my GPA up to get into the Capella program. And I was like, I was going to do it, but right when I was about to do it, Claflin emailed me and said they had me on the roster. So I just did Claflin. But yeah, with Capella, you can complete a course in like 4 weeks. I think it was like if you just keep doing the work nonstop, don't stop, keep submitting the work and doing this and that. Yeah, some people completed in like 12 weeks. They completed the whole BSN program. Oh, I'm just talking. I'm seeing y'all conversation, and I'm just sitting here talking, saying things. Yeah, 12 weeks. I know people who went to Walden for their master's degree. I don't know any who went to Walden for their BSN though, but well, Shonda, tell us how the new NCLEX is because I don't know anybody who actually took the new NCLEX. I think they changed it what 2 years ago or 3 years ago. And y'all, I'm holding this thing in my hand, so if it move with me, that's because I'm holding it in my hand. I know some RNs who went for their NP as soon as they graduated, they enrolled. They don't make you wait no more now. Oh, you think? You know what, Shonda? I really think the old NCLEX probably was harder too. I think it probably was because I don't know. Let me just not say what I think they made things easier. I'm gonna say that. I think they've made a lot of things easier since the pandemic. Lord knows I know like my kids in college right now. And when I tell you, like my daughter had to do her public speaking speeches. When I took public speaking, I had to get up in front of the whole class and do my speech. She got online. She only had to have 4 people in the audience. Of course, her 4 people were 4 family members. And she had to do her speech online. I said, they made a lot of things much easier. Good night, Precious for Life. Have a good shift tonight. I'm back tomorrow on my night shift. But Melanin Mama, like I said, I know some RNs who they rolled right into an MP. They rolled right into MP school, hadn't even practiced as an RN a full year. So I can't say how long you should wait for your MP. I don't know. I was thinking maybe at least get a year or two under your belt as an RN. But some people before they got their 2 years, they already they already achieved their NP. So I don't know, and they seem to be doing well. Yeah. So I won't say how long to wait for NP. It's all on what you feel comfortable with. Ooh, that must have been the easy question right there, Shonda. That must have been one of the easier questions. Because I know that ain't one of the harder questions. Mm-mm-mm. Child. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. It had to be. How do you feel about well, how do you feel when you finished taking the test? Like, were you pretty confident or were you nervous? How many questions did you get? If you can remember, because I know you probably took it a little over a month of I don't know how long you took it to be honest. I remember you saying you completed your program, but how did you feel once you finished the test? Did you feel like you passed? Yep. Let me see if I missed any questions. Oh, what were you saying? You had to do nine of. Oh, you had to do clinical hours. You got to do 9 clinical hours. Oh, you got all the questions. Well, you the first person I know said they felt like the NCLEX was too easy. So if you felt like it was easy, then yeah, they made it easier. Because I hadn't heard anybody say they feel like the NCLEX was easy. So they made it easier then. But clinical hours for you did 9 clinical hours. You're doing 9 clinical hours for your BSN. Is that what you're saying? You have to do 9? Because I know for the clinical hours in my BSN, they were all online simulations. Like, oh, okay. Yeah, my clinical hours for my BSN, they were all online simulations that they had set up. Like you were in a city or a town, and it would be like I say something like The Sims, I guess, where they have the little bubble over everybody's head as you're driving down through the town. They have the little bubble, and it will tell you, click on it, and it will tell you that whole person's stats, like their family life, their health condition, stuff like that. You just had to answer questions. And then we had to do a project, like a evidence-based research paper on how we could improve something in the workplace. And I just, at that time, I was working in an assisted living facility. So I chose music therapy with Alzheimer's patients. I did just like a project on does it help improve with concentration and mealtime. And so we had to do that. And that was like for clinical hours. And then my overall capstone was you had to pick a place and basically everything about that place. It was 1,000 questions, and we had to answer all the questions based on crime stats, demographics, number of children, education, healthcare, accessibility, just everything. And so a lot of people in my BSN program, they were all from, this. So it was in South Carolina, so they were all based out of the county I lived in, and then the surrounding counties and stuff. And so, just to be a little different, I did mine on Raleigh, North Carolina, because I had lived there briefly, and everything about their healthcare system there was better than I say the healthcare system here. Mm. But yeah, I think around 9 clinical hours. That's about yeah, that's about right. I didn't have to go anywhere to do my clinicals for BSN. I used the place that I was currently working for my project. So yeah, a lot of people they're nervous about the NCLEX. And you know what? I studied when I graduated, and I probably shouldn't talk about the NCLEX because the NCLEX is different now. But when I studied for the NCLEX and did U World, I had a study group for my RN when I was doing my RN. And we used to be together in a group chat. Like everybody was nervous to go take it, and we'd be like, "Did you take it? Did you take?" And I was like, "I ain't putting it off." So I graduated December of 2019. I think I graduated December the 18th. I don't remember the exact date because I didn't attend the graduation. And I paid. I think like the school had to do something. They had to send something, and then I paid and I took my test. I think it was February the 11th. So, and the only reason I took it then, I wanted to take it in January, but it was like the slots were full, and I didn't want to have to travel to take it. I wanted to take it right there in my city. So I think out of my group, my study group, I probably was like the third person to take it. And as far as I know, everybody in my study group, they passed the NCLEX. But we were nervous. We were nervous, but I was like, I'm gonna take it, and if I fail, I got $200 ready to try again. I was telling my study group, I was like, why are y'all nervous? If you take it and you don't pass, take it again. Because all of us were LPNs, so we were already making decent money. So to come up with another $200 to take it again, it wasn't really a big issue. They say Remar is a good study. A good study. So y'all, I be getting lost for words, but yeah, it's called Remar. They say that's a good study guide for the NCLEX as well. Yeah, a lot of people be nervous about going ahead and taking it, but I be like, it ain't like you can't take it again. If that was my thing, and I was like, it ain't like I can't take it again if I don't pass. If I don't pass after studying for 30, 35 days straight, if I don't pass, I'm just gonna take it over. Yeah, I heard Remar was good, and this guy called Mark Kleiman, child, I don't know, Mark Kleiman. I think a lot of people say they use him as well to study climate. Somebody on here might know what I'm talking about. What is Archer though? Is that like another U World? I never heard of that one. Now is the oh yeah, well, you used all the study guys. I ain't mad at you. You used them all. I don't blame you. You must have been nervous. Yeah, Mark Climate. Yeah, I heard a lot of people use him. Some of my coworkers in school for their RN right now, and they're using that Mark Climate. But I don't think anybody is confident going in taking the NCLEX. We just once we start taking it, we be like, okay. When I took it, I don't remember my LPN NCLEX. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It was so I remember stopping in the middle saying a prayer. I remember that, and I remember looking at them questions, thinking, I don't know none of this. Like I don't know none of this stuff. I don't even know how I passed the first time I took my PN NCLEX, and that was back when you had to wait for the results to come in the mail. I don't know how I passed. I did. I know I had whatever the probably max amount of questions was. Maybe I had them. I know I went over 100. I don't know how I passed that because all that stuff was foreign to me. When I took my RN, a lot of it was so the questions where they say you like who shouldn't you put in a room together. I had a lot of those questions. I had a few respiratory sounds, lung sounds. Did I have a math problem? I had a problem. Something had to do with scoring tablets, I believe. But yeah, I was pretty confident when I took, and I had some labs, something dealing with PTs and INRs, PT INRs, yeah, and some heparin question, I think. But yeah, I knew when I got up, I had passed. Is the ATT, is that the thing that they have to send, the school has to send to um the state board for you to take your nursing? I know the school has to send something. I don't know if it's something stating that you can test. Oh, okay. I'd be so out of the loop, y'all. I just be I was like a robot back then and half the stuff I can't even remember. Did you find your bridge program to be hard, mid, or easy? Or should I say easy, mid, then hard? Like, how did you find your bridge program? And how many semesters did you have to do for yours? And we need to get back to this residency for the hospital. What's going on with that? If you don't mind saying, I don't, not to be too nosy, but if what they're offering you, I know it's probably less than you were making as an LPN, but is it doable? Oh, it was hard. I know. My homegirl is the only person I ever met that said that nursing school wasn't hard. I was looking through some of these questions to make sure. Oh, okay. Well, that's a first that you actually make it more. Times have changed. Cause let me tell you, when I was, you know what? You know what? No, let me not lie. Let me think. Okay, it wasn't more. Okay, when I graduated with my RN, I got offered more. Okay, it wasn't what I thought I was gonna get offered. Let me say that. When I got hired at the hospital with my RN, like I said, I had made it up to 27, I think 27.50 with my LP, and that's what I was making when I graduated with my RN. In my mind, I thought I was going to walk through doors getting like 35 an hour. That's what I was going thought I was going to get. I heard a hurt thing. Um, but the hospital offered me 29 something. So it was a little bit more than $2 an hour than what I was making as an LPN. And I thought that was, I was like, what? And then when I went to the nursing home, they was offering me 33. And I was like, well, heck, I'm gonna go to the nursing home. But so what I did is I went to the nursing home, but I stayed at the nursing home part time. And after hearing my friend tell me how she did this at the hospital, she did that at the hospital, she was so excited because all the smear she was getting. I went ahead and okay, I took the job at the hospital. I didn't, and then she told me that we didn't have to do a residency because they needed nurses just that bad that they had shut down like 10 beds on the unit because they didn't have enough staff. And so when she told me I had to do a residency, I went and I went ahead and accepted the job. Um, but being that I was working night shift, that 29 ended up being like, I think night shift differential was like $4 an hour or something. So the 29 ended up being what I was making at the nursing home because I was working night shift. But then, like a month or two after I started working, they were given a raise across the board because they were trying to be competitive with what another hospital was paying their nurses. So then my base pay went from like 29 something, 29.60 something, up to 31 something an hour once they gave that raise, which put me on night shift at like 35 something an hour. So I ended up getting the 35 on night shift, but that's how it happened. But it was still more than I made as an LPN, but it was less than what, I mean, the 35 was what I was hoping I would get going in. But like I said, it took me having to work night shift and that raise that they gave across the board. Yeah, that differential had me because it was like $4 an hour on nights, and then it was like an additional $3 on weekend shifts. And so they pretty much had their weekend night shift staff in the bag because people was coming in because of that extra $7 an hour. But I did every other weekend. But yeah, that's how they got me. But even oh y'all kill me. This is by the time I be laying down listening to my books, y'all. I'm at the apartment and I go home tomorrow to get my work week started. Um, but oh, even with the overnight, the level of acuity with the patients were a little too much for me. Y'all know I'm getting old. I'm getting old. So I don't I just can't do that stress and I don't want to be boxed in. Oh, 5 during the week. Ooh, that $9. I know that money again. That money will have you like reconsidering some things. I ain't gonna lie, because I sat in the parking lot many a nights crying when I had to go into that hospital. But I thought the money had me. But child, who knew that money we was getting wasn't nothing compared to that money they was gonna give travelers. um, Let me get this person on hop off live. It's bedtime. And, I hate to say that because I did just say it's my bedtime. It is my bed. It's my lay down time because I don't go to sleep. I don't do travel nursing anymore. I gave it up. I have friends who still do travel nursing, but the pay really now with travel nursing, if you're actually really traveling and having to live somewhere else, with the inflation and the cost of everything, are you really profiting more than if you stay local? You know, that's because I'm seeing rates. I'm seeing people getting like 2,900 a week. I'm seeing things offered like 2,800 a week, 2,900 a week. But to say that the inflation is what it is, and you paying $5 for a carton of eggs, well, I'm gonna say $4.30 for a carton of eggs. Is it worth traveling now if you really have to pay to stay somewhere else? So 2,900 to me, if I'm only having to go an hour away and I'm gonna sneak back home to sleep in my bed, it's worth it. But if I gotta go states over, stay somewhere else, it's not worth it to me. They are paying nothing like it was during COVID, honey. That's why I'm glad I got that last little travel, that assignment in real quick at the hospital before, because I knew the money was it was dwindling down. So I jumped on, got that last little bit of travel money, and that was a wrap for me. Yeah, they're paying nothing like it was. My friend right now, I think she's getting like 26. Yeah, the rates do suck. Unless, like I said, you might can stay with a family member or something wherever you go, or you don't really have to pay for housing, because the cost of housing is too high now. Yep. Yep. You got all that you gotta pay. You caught that last one too? I know that's how I was. I was like, when I did when I did that last travel assignment at the hospital, even though they let me go early, I got in there enough to get what I need to get. I got in there, I got that money, and I started that trash business, honey. I was like, let me get in and get out. Because after that, I did look for another travel. I did. I'm not gonna lie, I looked for another travel, but I didn't want to go far, and everything was like 3 to 4 hours away. And the most I saw they was offering was like 3,000 a week. Now I ain't saying 3,000. 3,000 ain't bad, y'all. 3,000 ain't bad. But if I'm actually going to have to stay, so like I was like, where am I going to stay? I guess I could have got an Airbnb for like 1,500 a month. I don't know. In my mind, I was thinking like staying at a extended stay, or I probably could have did the Airbnb and it would have been worth it. But then another thing for me is I really didn't want to be that far because y'all know my youngest is autistic, so I wanted to be closer to my kids. Ooh, California. They were still paying good in California January and March of this year. California rates always were better. My friend, even like last year, was it last year? She was still in Cali. Yeah, 2023. She was in Cali still getting, I think, like 5,000 a week. But even that friend, even though she got that travel money, but she took a local job here. Well, not here, but in the other city that I live in. She took a local job there. Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you, Melanin, that ain't what we supposed to do. It ain't what we supposed to do. It ain't what we supposed to do. But hey, I did stay in the hotel some nights. And then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, because y'all know I'm a long term care girly. So if I work 4 shifts in long term care, I was getting $60 an hour. The lowest I was getting was 50, but some agencies were still paying 60. So if I do 3 12-hour shifts in long term care, I'm bringing in, that's what, over 1,900 for 3 days. So all I had to do was work a fourth shift. and I was making just about what they are paying like now in in travel. So I was like, it's not really worth it. Yeah, my friend, she did some in Jersey, to Edison, Jersey. She did a couple assignments in Edison at well, some hospital up there. But yeah, it's not as many people traveling now as it was during the pandemic. It slowed down a lot. But traveling wasn't always about the money, before the pandemic, because nurses been traveling. Like when I got my LPN 20 something years ago, nurses were traveling, and it wasn't as much about the money as it was about being able to stay in different, like traveling, like being able to go to different places and experience living in different areas. The money was better, but a typical travel, well, so a typical rate for travelers back pre-pandemic was like 2300 a week. Now, mind you, nurses, regular nurses, not nurses like in California who was making a bunch of money regardless, but regular nurses, regular South Carolina, New York, whatever nurses, every 2 weeks we was probably bringing home, I'm gonna say anywhere from 2200 to maybe 3500. Say if you were in New York or something, we were bringing that every 2 weeks. So you tell me I could travel and get 23 a week. So yeah, the nurses were going from, they were traveling, getting that 21 to 2300 a week. That was normal travel wages back in the day. When you travel, Sean, do you travel with your LPN? Because I travel, y'all know I traveled as an RN, but I picked up long term care assignments because even though they were LPN assignments, they were still more than I was making as an RN. So I traveled and picked up LPN. I picked up assignments in long term care for the pay they were offering LPNs, which was still good money to me because it was more than I was making working a full time. And I enjoyed it because they used to work it out for me. Like one travel assignment I took, I only did 216s back to back. So y'all know, because I was doing my channel then. So I would drive there, drive in, do my 16, go to the hotel, sleep a good 6.5 hours, get up, take a shower, go back to the place, do my next 16. I would go sleep in my car for about a good hour and a half and then crank that car up and ride on back home. And I'm off the next 5 days. And so I would just pick up some PRN agency shifts. That was the bomb there. I worked 2 days a week and was bringing, on them 2 days, I was bringing home like $1,900. Was it 1916? It was close to the $1,700 for them 2 days. Yep. And then I just pick up one agency assignment, and that was a quick 300 right there. So yeah, that's that video I was saying I was making like 2,000 a week. Yep. But that's what that agency allowed me to do. A lot of agencies won't allow you to do it, but they allowed me to do it. They allowed me to do, and the facility agreed to it too. And I did it on the weekend, so I took care of a lot of their weekend staff. So I did 216s. I did every Friday and Saturday. I drove in there on Friday, did 3 to 11, 11 to 7, went to the hotel, went to sleep, woke up, went in there Saturday, did 3 to 11, 11 to 7, and then Sunday morning took my little nap in my car and then drove home. Yeah, it was, I think that was no, that wasn't the first video I put out, but that was the first one about traveling. I think I said I grossed 2,000 in a week. And I had put up what agency was that? I have to ask my friend because she told me about it. I can't even remember. It started with a C though. Oh Lord, what agency? What, I don't remember what agency. That was the very first travel job I had to. I can't remember the name of the agency. I'll try to, I'll ask my friend when I get off here. I'll message her, and then when this video is completed, I'll put it up somewhere in the comments. But the agency, they weren't based out of South Carolina. They was based out of somewhere else. I don't even remember what it was based from. But I'm sure I got some email messages from them, but I just can't remember the name of the agency because I worked with like four or five different child. I probably worked with eight different agencies because I did a few of them that were just local, and then I did like four travel agencies because I took like four travel assignments, but three of them were long term care and one was hot acute care. I think it started with a C though, but all the long term care assignments that I took, it was because my friend, the one who's still traveling now, she told me about them all because at the time she was an LPN. Next travel destination, far as like out of the country. So I know me and a friend we're going to Vegas because I've never been to Vegas and I just want to go. Was it career staff? I don't know. I have to go in my email and put career staff in and see if it pops up. I don't think it was career staff. I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Career staff I sound familiar, but I'm thinking it sound familiar because I've seen their name somewhere. I don't think it was career staff though. I have to like I said, I don't remember. I don't remember. That was 4 years ago. Yeah, that was in 2020 when I did it. I don't remember. Y'all see how the years went by so fast? I've never been to Vegas, Shonda, but I want to go just to go and say out, just to go and say I went. So my homeboy, he told us like he was like we should do Vegas for a weekend. I was like, yeah, we could. Cause y'all know I'm off every weekend, so yeah, that's gonna be my next destination. I don't wanna go to Mexico again. I wouldn't mind going to Jamaica again. I don't think I did Jamaica. When I did Jamaica, I wasn't on YouTube. Um, but I do want to go to Vegas just to go. I want to go to. It's not too many places in the United States I want to go. Um, I like historic. I like y'all know I like World War II stuff. My friend works with Aya all the time, all the time. She love them, and her whatever you call them. Her name is Mandy that works with Aya. She been working with Aya for a long time. Mandy even hit me up a few times because she had got me an assignment, but I turned it down. I went to the Bahamas, but I went on a cruise. Going somewhere on a cruise is way different than going flying in. So we went to the Bahamas on a cruise. I love Jamaica though. I really did. And if I go somewhere, I gotta go somewhere that's an all inclusive resort. So I wouldn't mind going back to Jamaica again. And where else did I? So, like I was saying, I like World War II historical stuff. So I wouldn't mind going somewhere in Europe, seeing some World War II relics. That would be interesting to me. But outside of that, mm-mm. And I kind of feel like if you go to one of these, if you go to one, mm, I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer. The culture is different, but if you stay at an all-inclusive resort, the experience is the same. So Mexico, outside of the food at their all-inclusive resort, was basically the same as Jamaica. No, I ain't gonna lie, honey, because Jamaica, the nighttime entertainment was better in Jamaica. It wasn't the same. I'm not even gonna lie. Jamaica was better. I enjoy Jamaica to where I would go back. I don't feel the need to go back to Mexico. What's going on in St. Augustine, Florida? I've been to Florida before. I've been to Tampa and I've been to Jacksonville and I've been to where else did I go? Orlando. And my friend, she goes to what's the one in Florida that start with a D that everybody goes to? It start with a D. A lot of people go there. Destin. She been to Destin. What's going on in St. Augustine? And y'all know I never had a want to go to Miami because I feel like it's too much for me. That'll be too much going on for me. My daughter went to Miami a couple months ago. She said it rained the whole time she was there. Rain on and off the whole time she was there. But I want to go to New York too. I'm from Jersey originally, and I know I've been to New York as a young girl. I don't remember, but I want to go to New York. We were supposed to go for my friend for her birthday in November, but then she realized, oh, the Spanish. Oh, okay. Oh, see, now I'm gonna be on Google looking all that up. Okay, yeah, that would be interesting. I want to see that. Um, I didn't know that, Shonda. Okay, I'm gonna look it. I'm gonna look it up. I might end up in St. Augustine then, because my daughter loves historical stuff too, so she might take that trip with me. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we were supposed to go to New York. We didn't go because it's cold. She was somebody told her it was already cold, and she's on blood thinners, and she don't want to be freezing, so we canceled that. But I was kind of getting excited about going to New York because I wanted to go to the Wax Museum, but I guess I'll go in Vegas. That's one of the reasons why I want to go to Vegas to see the Wax Museum. Hmm. But yeah, I a lot of people use Ayer, and a lot of people use who's the agency out cross country. But I heard cross country. Who bought cross country? Did Aya buy cross country? I think I heard Aya bought cross country. Cross country was the agency I went with when I did that hospital travel assignment. Damn, I'm trying to remember. It might have been career staff that I took that assignment with. And I went to some little place in North Carolina and nobody there looked like me. Um, Not even a residence child. A residence at the facility didn't even look like me. But me and my homegirl went. We were about the only two melanated people that worked there. And it was a different experience, y'all. I had never worked in a long-term care facility where there were so many people who didn't look like me. That was a first as far as the staff and the residents. That was a first. So I kind of already knew how the demographics of the town might have looked. But like I said, I was just in and out for a short period of time. When I went to a restaurant or something to get something to eat, everybody was so nice. They were nice and everything. But yeah, I think they said Aya bought career staff. Oh, did I show y'all my nails? This nude color right here, free my. I heard about free. I heard about free. Well, you know what? I might need you to get me a tour thing prepared so I can hit everything in that one trip because I might not never go back. So I might need you to tell me some places to go to while you on here. You say you go every year. When do you go? We might could plan something together. Me and my homeboy go out there because he don't mind traveling. I got some friends who don't. I got a friend, a homegirl. I call people my homegirl. Y'all know I'm old school. I got a homegirl that go like every year too, and I just never wanted to go, but I actually want to go. You say the Wax Museum was okay. You didn't enjoy it. Well, you said okay. You said okay. I think I'll like it because I like seeing it on other people's videos. I heard Fremont Street. You see all kind of things on Fremont Street. But I want to go. A lot of my coworkers and everything, they've gone to Vegas. You going in June? We might go a little sooner than that because the way he was talking, he was ready to go next week. I was like, look, now I can't. I make a cute little coin, but I can't just up and go next week. Now the coin ain't that cute. Um, we probably will be going sooner than that. Most places that I've gone in the U.S. have been up and down the East Coast. So I've been to Maryland. I got a cousin that lives in Baltimore, and so we've gone to stay with her a couple times. And Jersey, I don't really like Jersey. My sister wanted to move back there, and I told her I don't know why. I don't really like Baltimore either, but at least I had my cousin there to show us around. Oh, you went in July? Okay. Yeah, I don't know when we're gonna. I'm gonna talk with him because he was taking down them shots of Don Julio, so he might have just been talking just to talk. But he's well traveled. So I'm gonna see when he want to go because it's not really cold over there, is it? Like it's Nevada weather is like California weather, right? So it's not really cold even in the winter months. So we probably end up going there next month. You never know. And that's another thing. So I don't talk about this often, but when it comes to nursing, do you find yourself, oh, it do get cold? Oh, well, I guess I was wrong. Do you find that when you're ready to go places, like when you got your mind set up that you want to go places and you know you got your money right and you ready, that sometimes you gotta wait because other people don't have their money? Like maybe because I be talking to people sometimes and I be like, oh yeah, let's go on a cruise. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm talking to you about the cruise and oh, it was freezing. Oh shit, I better not go in February then. Freezing? What's freezing? Freezing? Yeah, freezing is freezing. Cause some people it's cold right now in South Carolina, but I feel like if I put enough layers on, I'm good. Like we were standing outside last night. I just had a blanket wrapped around me with a sweater on, and I was good. Um, but then I'm a bigger girl. I got a little bit more insulation. But so when I be talking about going places, like we'll be trying to plan stuff. That's a discussion for another day probably, but I'm gonna just bring it up now. So you be trying to plan stuff. So say you say in March, hey y'all, let's go on a cruise. Oh, you leave? Oh, girl, you go alone? I ain't get there yet. I wanna be that person so bad. I wanna be that person so bad to go alone. Um, so like we'll talk about we want to take a cruise and it'll be March. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, we about to take this cruise in April or May. But then, my counterparts would be like, they got to save and make payments and I don't hold it against nobody because I've been there. But it's like I ain't got to I ain't got to save and I mean I can make payments, but it ain't got to be no payments for a 6 month span for a cruise. Oh, I need you to teach me, Shonda, because I be wanting to lead people. So I wanted to go to the I be scared for one, but I don't know if you just gotta you need to make a video and show us on a solo trip because I want to go alone so bad. I really do. But I'm just not there yet. I just got to the point about 3 years ago where I'll go out to eat by myself. I'll go to the movies I go to the movies by myself. I go out to eat by myself. I'm probably about 5 years ago. About 5 years ago. 'Cause I know since I got my house, I started going places alone. I go out to eat out by myself. I go to the movies to a matinee by myself. I even went to the Beyonce concert by myself. But to go on a trip, I haven't gotten there yet, but I want to be there. I want to be that girl that go on a solo trip. I don't, it's just my nerve. First of all, I don't even know how to navigate an airport. I told my daughter she should have made a video because the 2 times that I have gone out of the country on an airplane, I had to follow my friend's step by step directions. So I didn't even know how to navigate the airport. I didn't get on my first airplane until I was 41. And then I didn't get on my next airplane until I was, that was 46. And so navigating the airport for me would probably be a lot. Oh, Shonda, we need to talk. I had you on the phone talking me through the check-in process at the airport. I do be wanting to take solo trips. And then when you take solo, then when you end up, child, see, I'll talk about a solo trip and then I'll be wanting to have 2 or 3 people already at the destination that I know, but you go solo by yourself. Dang, I want to be that girl. I really do. Because I be needing to get in the way. So I need to get away sometimes because, just get away. Just to get away. Get away from the kids, the job, the friends. Because, you have different type of friends. And then, so, yeah, so a lot of times I be wanting to go places. Like I wanted to go, where was it? Panama. Like I wanted to go to Panama. I saw one of my try it on a cruise. I might do that. I might do that. Yeah, I might do try it on a cruise. I want to take a Virgin cruise because I heard them the adult cruises, and I want to go on an adult cruise. I might try it with a Virgin cruise. Get on in. Be this as flirtatious as I can be. Um, I might try it. Yeah, that's a good idea, Shonda, and I'm gonna do that. I know, and I miss out on a lot of stuff when I was in my time period where I just wanted to travel everywhere. I was wanting to go to Spain. I was wanting just go everywhere in the trips. And this group I'm in, it's called New Beginnings Travel Agency. She'll have things posted. It'd be like $2,200 for 5 days in Paris, and that is a lot of money. But I could have worked and made it and gone, but it would have been so low. You know what? I think I know what you're talking about with the pineapple, with the Virgin Cruises, and let me, child, we ain't gonna talk about it on here. I might not turn the pineapple upside down. I might turn it sideways. I might be a little interested. So I might be slightly interested, but I do want to go on a Virgin cruise though, for real, just to see what it's about. Cause yeah, I think I know what you're talking about with the pineapple because I heard something about that. But I wanna go on an adult cruise, no kids. Yep, I wish it was a way for them to put the age limit to 30 and up, but hmm yeah, you laughing, so I think I know. I think I'm on the right track with the pineapple thing. But girl, I'll be in there in the whole damn pineapple dress, mess around. I have a dress on with number pineapples all imprinting all over it. But let me stop, y'all. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna plan. That's what I'm gonna do, Shonda. I'm gonna plan a cruise, and I'm gonna ask my homegirls, the ones that I know that do travel, if they want to go. But if they say no, I'm gonna go by myself, and I might need your number. If I get nervous, I might need your number to be like, okay, Shonda, now you told me to go solo now. How? Cause I don't know nothing. Like even when I went on a cruise, my homegirl planned it. I just sent the money to her. She planned it and she set up like the dinner arrangements and like all that stuff that you're supposed to do. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. So she was like, you have to plan the dinner itinerary and pick a time. And like, she walked me through everything. And I just followed because, hey, she'd been on several cruises. That was my first one. I should have really listened and paid attention to what she was saying. Yeah, screaming, Sean, I'm dead serious, Sean. You sit there, child. Anyway, I'm single too. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna plan. I've got to do the Margaritaville cruise healthcare worker. So what? Where that leave from? And cruises leave out from the part of Florida you live in, don't they? But where the Margarita? I'm gonna look all this stuff up. I gotta do the healthcare worker sell free. Ooh, I'm gonna look that up too. But where does that sell out of, Shonda? And Shonda got me about to take a cruise by myself, but I'm gonna do it because it's more. Being on the cruise is more inclusive than being outside, like taking a solo cruise. Oh, Tampa, okay. Tampa is 7 hours away from me. Is it seven? I had to fly into Tampa. Okay, everything is Margaritaville because I know when I went to Jamaica, they had a club called Margaritaville. Um, okay, well, I'll do that one after. Lord, now you gave me a list of stuff to do, so now I'm going to. I was already gonna do Vegas with my homeboy, one of my homegirls. They might end up going. I don't know. I got one person going, so that's Tampa. Okay, I'm gonna look that up. What's so? Well, I'll look up the Margaritaville cruise and see exactly like all the stipulations and stuff with that. I had never heard. I've never heard about that cruise. What line is that out of? Is that all out of Carnival or Virgin? Or isn't it a cruise line that start with an R? Oh, it's a brand. Okay. So the cruise line itself is called Margaritaville. I'm gonna do it because I know people in my hometown that used to take cruises by themselves too. I'm gonna do that. You already got me set up for yeah, you got me set up, but Lord, I'm trying to figure out how I can get in touch with you. I might need to um Look, is your name Shonda Gregory on Facebook? Are you on Facebook? I might look you up on Facebook. It ain't gonna be my name, but if you see it's okay. I'm gonna look you up on Facebook. I'm gonna befriend you on Facebook so we can talk some more about this. If you see the first name Michelle, that's gonna be me. But I'm about to get off here because I'm gonna go first search for you on Facebook and send you a friend request because I am so serious. Oh, okay. So I need to do them instead of Virgin Cruises, or I need to do both of them. Which one would you say I do first? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look you up on Facebook. So the cruise line is pretty new. It's been tried and tested. They boats ain't sinking, are they? The cruise lines are cruising, right? Like how new? I'm just shooting all these questions out to you because I'm so serious that I'm gonna take this cruise even if I gotta go solo. Both, okay. Okay. When you see that video drop, just know you the cause. You the reason why I'm on these cruises. That is a good idea, taking a cruise solo. Because I can't get lost. Where I'm gonna get lost at on the boat. But thank you, Shonda. I'm like I said, I'm about to send you a Facebook request. And it's gonna be Michelle. So and it's been nice talking to all of you. We veered all the way away from healthcare and started going into something else, but it's okay. And I think I'm gonna do lives from, I'm not gonna say from now on, like I'm never gonna do videos again, but the videos that just take too much. And y'all see I come on here as is, like looking a mess, hair all over the place. I got my pajama top on and I don't have to prepare for what I'm gonna say, and I don't have to do no editing. If it come out wrong, it just come out wrong. But it was another cruise line, and Jimmy Buffett bought it before he got. Oh, okay, okay. But I'm about to get off here, y'all. I will see y'all again. It'll probably be next weekend because Monday through Thursday I'm grinding. Okay, so I'm about to go on there now. I'll see y'all next time. I'll try to do the next live next week. It was nice talking to y'all. Have a good night. Bye.